Welcome back to the channel, guys. Normally I am talking about movies on this channel, award season, etc. But I needed to make a video about this. I have to share my thoughts and opinions on this, or else I'm gonna explode. My gay heart can't stay silent on this one, y'all. I'm a big fan of Lady Gaga. Yes, I'm a little monster. And her latest music video and song, Abracadabra, have been stuck in my head ever since they came out. The music video is like a film. It's a movie. It's incredible. It's a visual feast. We are eating. And so I wanted to break it down with y'all. But actually, now that I think about it, this makes sense with the channel. Gaga is an actress, not just a singer, not just a performer, not just a pop star. She's an actress. She's won Golden Globe. She's won Critics' Choice Awards. She's nominated for BAFTA. She's been nominated for Oscars, won an Oscar for her songwriting. So yeah, I think it makes sense for me to cover this on this channel. Lady Gaga's Abracadabra is more than just a music video. It's a cinematic spell. Through its eye-catching imagery, choreography, and fashion, Gaga tells a story about battling your inner demons, the urgency of creating art, having artistic freedom, especially in today's political climate. Which, I mean, come on, let's be honest. It feels like it demands conformity at all times these days. So let's break it down. The music video opens with Gaga, or in this case, the lady in red. She is standing on a platform. We see her as the camera pans up to place her at the center of the shot in a medium close-up, immediately letting us know she has the power. She commands attention. She has our attention. She wears a red latex outfit with what look like nails, black gloves, and a huge red hat with spikes. The costumes in this play a major role, just like in other Gaga videos, and just like in movies. The costume design, it's a part of the story. The color red representing passion, power, danger, which aligns with the nails, the spikes. She picks up her red microphone and says,
"The category is dance or die."
The category is dance or die. This is a reference to the ballroom scene. The ballroom scene refers to the underground LGBTQ+ subculture that emerged in New York City, particularly among Black and Latinx queer communities in the late 20th century. It revolves around ballroom competitions where participants, often belonging to different houses or chosen families, compete in categories like voguing, runway walks, face, beauty, and realness. These events serve as spaces for self-expression, performance, and resistance, offering a sense of community and empowerment to marginalized individuals. It's so cool that Gaga had dancers from the ballroom scene in the video as well. The lady in red introducing the music video in this way makes it very clear: dance or die. Choosing to dance is choosing to live. And using the word category, like in the ballroom scene, establishes there will be a battle taking place. After this, we get the title screen. The word abracadabra intertwined with the name Lady Gaga. This is also important because the A's connecting abracadabra and Lady Gaga are upside down, a triangle shape. And throughout the video, we see this shape a lot. An upside down triangle has multiple meanings, but I'm focusing on one: the feminine energy and the sacred feminine. In many spiritual and esoteric traditions, an inverted triangle represents the divine feminine, the womb, and creation. It mirrors the shape of a chalice or a vessel, symbolizing fertility, intuition, and nurturing energy. Many cultures, including Hinduism and Wiccan traditions, associate downward pointing symbols with goddesses and the maternal aspects of existence. This further emphasizes my point that this music video urges us to create, keep creating, bring your art to life, create, make, do what you love to do, challenge yourselves. But also, Mother Monster is nurturing us. But if you're here thinking that means the Illuminati and it's just demonic, satanic symbolism for Gaga, again, I'm cool with that too. That just means we are so back. The camera moves from behind the lady in red so that we can get a view of what she sees. At the same time, we hear these vocals that match the grandness of the room. They're quite ominous. It reminds me of the nun in the Conjuring franchise. Every time she appears on screen, this music accompanies her or it. Some scary shit, yeah. First, we were watching her. Now we are in her point of view. It's important so we are able to see this first wide shot of Gaga at the center and 40 dancers standing in a dark room all dressed in white. I love the contrast of the white outfits surrounded by all this darkness. Very clear, the light versus the dark. Not just with the lady in red, but the environment as well. And I mentioned 40 dancers, so I'm going to get a little mathematician here, if you will. The number 40 has different meanings, including testing, self-examination, and in Christianity, a time of judgment. They all hold the same pose, almost like soldiers ready to follow orders. Our setting has been established. This is where the battle will be taking place. It's so pleasing when the cameras focus on a couple of dancers and at the same time we hear what sounds like a countdown sound. 3, 2, go. The camera moves over the room as the dancers chant. It's as if they're yelling, "Yes, sir," or "Yes, ma'am." The assignment is dance or die. The song plays. The dancers around Gaga begin to dance, each differently and very erratic. But remember, they have to, or they die. Gaga stands still though, defiant in some way. Is she going to join or not? We see the lady in red watching over, and to me, she is not amused. Gaga twitches her head for what feels like a millisecond. She begins to sing, and now she begins to move as well. Some similarities to keep in mind. Both Gagas have a negative space or a cutout in their outfits in the shape of a cross, but also very covered up. Lace symbolizing the lightness, the delicacy to Gaga, as opposed to the latex, nails, and spikes I mentioned before that the lady in red is wearing, the dark side. I love the visual of the dancers holding her cape or train or coat or whatever it is. I don't have a particular meaning for that, but I just love that it's like, don't let mother's garments touch and drag on the floor. Now, I'm not going to mention every single lyric, but the lyrics of the song match really, really well with the visuals. So I'm going to point out a few here and there. Pay the toll to the angels drawing circles in the clouds. It's a transaction. The price to pay to be able to pass through, aka to dance, to create. What are you willing to pay? In other words, what are you willing to give up in order to challenge yourself and do what you love? Keep your mind on the distance when the devil turns around. But always keep in mind that darkness that you can fall back into if you choose not to. And I love how when she sings this part, we're focusing on the white garments, the light side of Gaga. This shot, this frame, oh my God, art. Again, everything has a purpose. The composition. We have Gaga being supported by her dancers. They have her back and she knows it. She lays comfortably. Choose to dance. Choose art. And on the other side, the white fabric is held up to cover the other dancers on the left side. Which side are you choosing? But honestly, it's such a visually appealing shot that even if it didn't have a meaning behind it, it deserves to be at the Louvre. I mean, come on, they have it as the thumbnail on YouTube.
The power that has, the intelligence that has, the clearance that has, the access that has, the influence that has, the profile that has, the international implications that.
Now, the next couple of shots where they dance in pairs and as a group, to me, shows the support of the dance community that they have for each other. They dance together, not against each other. This is also the first time we hear the lyric, like a poem said by a lady in red. You hear the last few words of your life. Like a poem said by a lady in red, you hear the last few words of your life. This is quite literal. Gaga is singing about the lady in red, the one that we've been calling out, the chaos character that she brought to life in her last music video, Disease. This character's name is Mayhem, the name of her album that will be coming out March 7th, so make sure to pre-order. This clearly is very personal to Gaga, but we can all relate to having these inner demons and struggling, with fighting with them, challenging ourselves, we can relate. With a haunting dance, now you're both in a trance. It's time to cast your spell on the night. The poem is the spell, the chorus. We hear the chorus and now they all dance in unison. We see the triangle shapes here too. The literal meaning of the word abracadabra is, I create as I speak. Gaga sings the words amor and morta, which in Latin means love and death. The spell is asking, are you choosing love or are you choosing death? Choosing love is to live, choosing to dance, to create. And of course, using wide, medium close-up and close-up shots throughout this to highlight the choreography. It just looks so good. I also loved this shot. The lady in red gives a menacing look as she supervises what's going on. Once the second part of the chorus starts, we have tight choreography shots intertwined with shots where the dancing is back to being erratic, perfectly matching this part and this feeling of the song. The shot where she sings, feel the beat under your feet, and Gaga does what looks like to me like a spider walk, immediately made me think of The Exorcist, where Regan does a spider walk coming down the staircase. Once again, some symbolism to demons, although Reagan's was a literal demon that we're speaking of. But, I've been mentioning Gaga battling her inner demon. The floor's on fire, and we get these shots of Gaga and the dancers falling to the floor. We get some floor choreography. Normally, if something is on fire, we get away from it. We try to keep our distance. But they do the opposite. They choose to embrace it being dance, creation, art, life. And I mean, come on, look at this wide shot. It's so satisfying. And then boom, an extreme wide shot. We need this to establish the setting a bit more. We knew we were in a dark room, but now we can see how big it is, how small Gaga and the dancers are compared to this room. And we actually get to see where the lady in red is standing and overseeing everything happening. Look at the set. The production design, like, come on. It's like something we can see straight out of Dune. Like, we could totally put this in the Harkonnen world, or even in the Hunger Games. I've seen people say that the beginning of this, the introduction to this music video of choosing to dance or die, reminds them of the Hunger Games. And if we think about it, both of these movies have a meaning of battling for your life. By the way, they saved some coins with this because if you didn't notice, this whole music video takes place in this room. Just one set. That's it. Gaga is so efficient. She saved up some coins. Choose the road on the west side. Now this could mean something else, just like any of the lyrics in this song. They could be interpreted in different ways, but I choose to give it a literal meaning in this instance because the visual matches exactly this line. The west side in this shot are the male dancers moving, dancing. Choose the road on the west side. She's telling us, choose to dance, choose to live, to create, to make art, be yourself. While on the east side, where there are all women dancers, they stand still. I mean, except for Gaga, who is standing in one spot, but her arms are moving. It's almost like she's casting a spell in a sense. She's controlling the male dancers. And I'm going to dive in a little bit deeper on why there might be a separation between the male dancers and the female dancers. Remember how I used the triangle to symbolize like the feminine energy? Gaga could be using this visual to represent how in society, men are the ones who have the freedom to do anything. They don't have the same expectations or constraints that women have. Staying home, raising a family, having children, not working, not continuing their education, not pursuing their passions. Women have to obey pretty much the patriarchy. Don't waste time on a feeling. Use your passion, no return. Gaga calls on you to do the opposite of that. And now both sides are mirroring each other. They're doing the same dance moves. They're moving exactly alike. They are equal. Fuck the patriarchy. It's about equality. Now, throughout this, we get more wide shots to accompanying the extreme wide shot that I was talking about. One shot being used as the point of view of the women. We actually get to see an overhead shot of what's happening. And then back to the extreme wide shot that we were talking about. There's no particular meaning to them, but it just wakes us up. It makes us see things differently. When we're looking at a movie and we're presented the same shots, not that that's wrong, that's completely fine, but we are comfortable. We're used to these shots. We're used to seeing things in this way when we're watching a movie, a film, a piece of art, right? So including these shots that are new, introducing the overhead shot, the point of view shot, it wakes us up. It makes us not like uncomfortable, but I guess that is the opposite of comfortable. But basically, yeah, like wake us up and thinking like, oh, okay, why did they choose those shots? Or simply just wake us up to maybe spark a bit of more interest into what we're watching. And you know, I like it because it just gives us a different way to view things. While Gaga is singing, "Save me from this empty fight," she's being lifted up. I see this as them honoring her, like she is their leader. That's the role that she's been given, or seems like she's been given by them. And we see the lady in red does not like this. So we cut to Mayhem has entered the chat. She has clocked in. She is no longer on her platform. She is now on the dance floor joining in this battle. But her outfit is more revealing now. If you notice, this probably was hiding underneath that red latex. The girls are out. The corset, straps, a smaller hat. I mean, there's no way she was going to be dancing with that giant ass hat. I don't think that was going to work out. Like the lyrics, her dancing is haunting, it's creepy, different. And providing her some support is a cane, further confirming this is the same Chaos character in the Disease music video. The dancers here are all in black. Love that choice of black outfits with a black room. The lighting plays a major role because we can still see the outfits. So even if it's black on black, that doesn't matter because we're still able to appreciate it. And they also move like the lady in red, like Mayhem. It's like they're her sidekicks, like her gang, her clique. They also kind of resemble witches. Perfect for a song about casting spells, abracadabra, magic, incantations. This section is all about her, Mayhem, which is now showcasing the dark side, the demon, that darkness that you fight. I like this shot here as well, where we're kind of like hiding behind the pillars. It's as if we are kind of creeping in, seeing what's going on. Now in movies, these shots are also used a lot. It doesn't necessarily mean that somebody is hiding. It may not be the point of view of someone else. It could just be a choice that the director made. Which, by the way, if you didn't know, Lady Gaga had a hand in directing this, along with Bethany Vargas and Paris Gobel, who also choreographed this music video. The spell, the chorus, begins again, and now they all dance in unison. Gaga said, "Fibromyalgia who? I'll dance through the pain. I don't care. I got this cane right here. As a matter of fact, I don't need this cane. Let me show you how I use it to mimic a gun or a weapon." Her pain isn't a hindrance or an obstacle. She actually can use it to her advantage. And that's powerful. And I mean, look at this shot right here. Look at the details. Look at the spikes on the cane. Ugh, her mind. And now the battle is on. It's Mayhem versus Gaga. The light versus the dark. I see the use of the camera, us, our point of view, as being a mirror, a reflection. Yeah, it's a camera recording the music video, but it's actually a part of the story. Gaga's two sides are in an epic dance battle. Mayhem is with her girls and Gaga's with her boys. I also love the choice of them sitting during this. It just shows that you can also dance with your upper body, with your hands, with your arms. It's an art form. And like I've mentioned before, like those movements with hands and arms, it's also kind of like casting a spell. And this mirror that I mentioned, it matches her album cover artwork, where she's using like this cracked mirror effect. At the end of this part, we hear the word abracadabra and poof, smoke appears. Magic. Gaga comes through carried by the dancers. She's wearing something different now. She's a little more exposed, but she's still wearing her cross. She's being carried as some sort of like offering to me. She looks pure, innocent like. To me, the dancers prepared her. They're the ones who dressed her. That reminded me of the horror movie Midsommar, where the main character in the movie is prepared by this cult, dressed, adorned by this cult in like flowers and this crown, preparing her to be their new May Queen. In that movie, the main character is dealing with a lot. The loss of her family, obviously the pain that comes with that, a shitty boyfriend, being isolated. Now, I'm not saying Gaga is dealing with those same things in this music video, but I just wanted to make a connection. They're both battling something very dark and matching with the visuals of being prepared and being offered, being dressed, being adorned. But also in Midsummer, Danny, which is the name of the character, she accepts this community in the end. She has support there, something that she didn't have. Stuff that I've mentioned throughout this. Gaga has a community. She feels this support with these dancers. Gaga is being held down on a chair while the dancers surround her. The movement of the dancers goes along with the music. Feels grand, heaven-like. She's adored, touched. She is being loved. We see the triangle shape here again, by the way. This entire scene is a piece of art. It looks like a Renaissance painting. Renaissance means rebirth. In art history, the Renaissance, which was during the 14th to the 17th century, was a cultural movement in Europe marked by a revival of art, science, and literature. Think Leonardo da Vinci, Michelangelo, and Shakespeare. When it comes to personal growth, it can describe someone going through a personal transformation, like a career renaissance or a creative renaissance. Now, I'm about to say it. I don't want to say it, but I have to, because a lot of people have said this. Gaga is back. To me, she never left. Let's make that clear. I've been a Little Monster since day one, followed and supported since day one. Through her acting career, through all her albums. Always been there. So to me, she's never left. But to the general public, the mainstream audience, I can see how that phrase fits. This is kind of a callback to Alejandro, to the fame monster, bad romance eras, Born This Way, what a lot of people grew up knowing Gaga as. And I've actually heard people say Abracadabra, Mayhem, is going to be, for this generation, what bad romance, the fame monster, Born This Way was for our generation. And I love that. I love to think that there will be queer kids out there who are gonna grow up learning about Gaga in this way, discovering her this way. It just makes me so happy. The kooky, grand, theatrical Gaga that we grew up with, that's what the mainstream audience is seeing again. Towards the end of this scene here, there is a sudden change in Gaga's attitude though. She realizes that there's something else going on. She looks around, the camera zooms out so we can see what she sees. The dancers move uncontrollably again. And this part, the operatic part of the song, it reminds me of when Ariel gives her voice to Ursula, the sea witch. By the way, another reference to witches. And it made me think. Ursula presents the deal to Ariel as if she's making an empowered decision, but it's a false choice. One where she must sacrifice a core part of herself to achieve her goal. This reflects how women are sometimes told they can have it all, but only if they compromise parts of their identity. Again, a connection with the feminine energy I've been speaking about. I could be reaching, but I love making connections that way. The dancers run out of frame and Gaga follows. Here is the climax of the film. No more music, only the crowd chanting the words of the chorus, the spell, the incantation. The camera follows behind Gaga. We get this feeling of entering the space along with her. We feel uncomfortable. There's this uneasy feeling like what is about to happen. This is like a cult doing some kind of ritual, and Gaga is the offering. She looks around with fear, hesitation. Are they with her or against her? She's their newest recruit. Another callback to Midsummer. Gaga screams. This can be interpreted in two ways. A scream for help, a scream of fear, the realization of it all, or a release. Screaming can be cathartic because it allows for the release of built-up emotions, especially stress, frustration, anger, or even sadness. I believe Gaga is doing both. The lady in red does her magic with her hand pressing down for a final move. Now Gaga is a true part of this group. She's under the spell. She dances along. Multiple shots are edited in here from different scenes we've already seen, a compilation of everything, and the song ends. The dancers lay on the ground around Gaga. Gaga turns around and then looks up at the lady in red. Mayhem also looks at her for a quick second, but then turns to the camera and tilts her head down. She is bowing out. Her job is done. She's taking a bow. Quick transition to Gaga. We look down at her. She tilts her head up in a fast motion and looks at us. Cut to black. The battle is over, but the outcome is unclear. Did she win? If so, who? Which side won? Or is this just another cycle of destruction and rebirth? Are we stuck in a continuous loop? The ambiguity of it all is what makes Abracadabra so powerful. It reflects the ongoing struggle that artists deal with. It's not about defeating your demons once and for all. It's about learning to live with them, to work with them, to create from them. Abracadabra isn't just the music video. It's a reflection of what it means to create in today's world. It speaks to anyone who has ever felt trapped by expectations, anyone who has ever struggled to balance passion with survival. In a time where art faces more censorship, financial instability, Gaga's message is clear. Art is resistance. Creating is passion and survival. And even when the world tries to control you, the real magic is refusing to let it. This music video is atmospheric, haunting, and deeply immersive. It pulls you in. It makes you think. It makes you wonder how her brain works. If I could have an ounce of that magic, see what I did there? Because it's Abracadabra. Okay, never mind. It complements the song perfectly and serves as a tribute to the power of the music video format. Her music videos are experiences, events. The respect she has to the art form is a beautiful thing, and we are so lucky to be witnesses to it. The category is dance or die. What are you choosing? But also, Gaga did say in an interview that the album is not serious and it's just fun. So what do I know? Maybe this video is just me reaching and an excuse to talk about it again and again and again. That's it for this breakdown. What do you think? Did you catch any other details I didn't? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to like and subscribe, guys. Thank you for watching. Until next time. Adios.